Really appreciate you taking the time out to have a chat with me, mate. I really appreciate it.
No worries, mate. How's it all going for you?
Yeah, good, mate. Good. I'll just give you a bit of a rundown of what I do with my page. So it's called NRL Fans WA. I'm trying to promote the game here in Perth, especially with the possibility of the expansion team. Trying to get more people interested in the game over here. I go to local games and stuff like that, try to promote the local clubs, and then obviously share the NRL news as well.
Ah, good one, mate. That's great.
Yeah. So we're talking to your. Sorry,
that one thing is that I'm part of a gym called Air Locker. It's like a group training gym that we have compressors that change the air, so it's like in altitude.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. So just as a side note, it'd be great just to mention what am I up to now with. Obviously, I've got a foundation, but I've also got a gym that I'm doing, and we're looking for franchises around Western Australia, and that's someone might be listening that might be interested. That's all.
Yeah, definitely. That was one of my questions I was going to ask you anyway, mate. So, so we'll just jump into your career.
Yeah.
You played 161 games for Newcastle between 97 and 05, and then you jump over to Catalans for a year and play 26 games over there. You get to play 3 games for New South Wales, a game for Country New South Wales, and you win a couple of premierships in the meantime, mate. How do you look back on your career and reflect on that, mate?
Yeah, g'day, Jamie. It's certainly when you hear that, you know, there's a sense of pride that, you know, I grew up in a town called Kurri, which was about 45 minutes from Newcastle, and had big dreams to hopefully try and make it in the big time. But up until the age of 18, I was a long, long way off that. I was just playing local league for Kurri and wasn't getting selected or even a trial for any of the Knights junior reps. So it was a fair way away for me at that stage. And then in the space of about 18 months, everything changed really quickly, and I got an opportunity and took it. And I guess the rest is history. 2 premierships, met some amazing people, played for a great club, played some representative football. I don't think I could have asked for much more.
Yeah, definitely. It's an absolute hell of a career, mate. I've watched some of your highlights and stuff, mate. And you know, I remember you when I was younger watching. You know, you're a hell of a player. Can we just reflect on those 97 and 01 grand finals? So your first year, 97, you make your debut against the Gold Coast Chargers, and then the same year you go on to win the split competition grand final against Manly.
Yeah.
How was that feeling for you, mate?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Like I said, I was playing country rugby league in 1995 for Kurri, and then 97 I played the first half of the year in reserve grade. Got some opportunities towards the end of the year, and I held my position. And there I was going out at the Sydney Football Stadium against a very fancied Manly team, who had been the dominant team for the last 2 or 3 years in the competition. We had all of Newcastle behind us, had this red and blue army of people. Paul Harrigan, the greatest leader that I've ever been associated with. We had the Johns brothers. We had some great young outside backs, Tony Butterfield, Mark Glanville, some really hard and big forwards. It was a really good, I guess, recipe for success. And it took us 79 minutes, but we got there in the end, and we brought the trophy home, mate. Yeah,
definitely. With the 97 one, did that mean more to you than the 01, or were they sort of similar in meaning?
Yeah, look, similar in meaning, but definitely. Just don't know whether you'll ever quite surpass that, the way that the town reacted to that first one. It was pandemonium everywhere. But then 4 years later, in a whole competition, I was 24 and was almost a senior member of the team. It was just as great. So I look back on it with, both grand finals with amazing memories.
Yeah, cool. No, definitely. So when you play for New South Wales in '01, mate, you play all three games in that series. How was that feeling for you, getting to represent your state?
Oh, was yeah, it was huge. You know, a couple of injuries I fell my way at the right time, and I slipped in there at fullback. Yeah, really proud with the way I played. It was three tough games. We lost the first one quite convincingly. We came out and won the second one really well. Then the third one was a much hyped game, and Queensland brought back Alan Langer from England, and that was a big thing at the time. And we scored up there. I think Ryan Girdler scored after 2 or 3 minutes. Couldn't have asked for a better start. But then this last ever game at Lang Park, at the old Lang Park, and Alfie and the Queenslanders just grew and grew. And unfortunately, we got beat 2-1. But no, look, I'm really happy with the way I went in that series. And yeah, that's a great, proud achievement.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember that series as well. It was absolutely huge series. Just when you were a kid, mate, who was your inspiration or your idol, and why were they your idol?
Well, it goes back. The Knights started in 1988, but I go back before that, and I was a heavy Parramatta fan in the 80s. Growing up as a kid, they were obviously very successful, and I just really loved, like a lot of kids at that time, Peter Sterling and Brett Kenny, and that Parramatta team. So they were definitely who I looked up to as kids. Then in '88, the Knights come in, so I had a new hero. I still had a lot of support for Para, but I was certainly excited to have our hometown in the competition. And I quickly started to become a Knights fan. Being from Kurri and the Coalfields area, which is close to the Johns boys, and they were getting up into first grade, and that gave a lot of kids like myself hope that kids from around here can play in the big time. So yeah, I was very lucky the Knights come in '88. It gave all local kids a real opportunity to represent at the top level from the comfort of their own bed, which no one could do before that. So I was very lucky.
Yeah, absolutely. I was talking to Matt Rogers the other day, and the two guys you mentioned from Parramatta, he was saying they were his idols as well. So those guys were in the '80s were magnificent.
Yeah.
What was it like playing alongside some of the great players in your team, like you mentioned before, the Johns boys, Big Chief, just to name a few? How inspirational was that? Like they'd already made their debuts and made a name for themselves, and then you come into the side. How was that for you?
Very grateful, Jamie, that I had some really great senior players to look up to. Our front rowers were Paul Harrigan and Tony Butterfield, two very big men characters, inspirational. So I was very lucky to have some leaders like that. We had obviously the Johns brothers in their early 20s who were just starting to get to the peak of their powers. But there was lots of, Adam Muir as a second rower was great. Robbie O'Davis. Then this group of young fellas that we came in together, and that was Denny Badiris, Matt Gidley, Darren Albert, Adam McDougall, Owen Craigie. So there was a really good group of youngsters that we all come in together, and we had a lot of fun, and we learnt a lot off these guys.
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Just want to get so you retire in 2006 after playing in Catalans, mate. Was that you just going over there just to finish off your career, or was it anything that made you go over there?
Look, the last 2 years at the Knights, I had a lot of injuries. Felt like one after the other, so I couldn't get much momentum going. And I just felt, and I think the club felt, that we just knew that it was probably time that I had a change. I was 28, 29. So not that old, I guess, when you look at it. But I think I squeezed a lot out of the lemon. I wasn't the biggest fella or the strongest, so I got knocked around a bit. And, I think my body was saying it was nearly time. So I felt a year or two over in the Super League would be great, way to finish. So I went over there, met some new people, had a lot of great life experience, had a good season for Catalans in their first year. But on about the second last game, I broke my leg, and my wife and I just felt that, the time was right. I'd had a great career. We're away from our family, had a young child. Let's go home and start again. So that ended a wonderful, I played footy since I was 6 years old. It's all I ever wanted to do. I loved it. I had very little injuries, really. That ended everything then, and I was, a bit under 30.
Yep, definitely. No, a lot of guys finish their NRL careers over in the Super League. So, it's a great way to go out as well. So 2013, mate, diagnosed with brain cancer. Obviously, that was a dark time in your life for you and your family. How did you guys, as a family unit and yourself personally, deal with that situation?
Yeah, that was a crazy time. I was 36 years of age at the time, 3 children under the age of 10. Felt fit and healthy, ready to tackle the rest of my life. And then out of some bad headaches, I found myself in hospital and getting a brain tumor removed. Life had changed. So, yeah, that was a really tough time. I had lots of friends and family around me. Had to go through radiation, chemotherapy. Went through that really well. But the big thing that came out of that was that my wife, Kiralee, and I decided we wanted to do something about the problem and try and fix it for myself and for so many others, because there's no cure for brain cancer. Kills more people 40 and under than any other disease. So we decided to start a foundation to raise awareness and to raise research. And that's sort of what we started in 2014.
Yep, absolutely. Have you got any advice for people going through, a dark time like yourself? Maybe they are going through a similar thing to you. Maybe not as serious as that, but still a dark time in their life. Have you got any advice for people going through that sort of stuff in their life?
The best advice I would give would be just to focus on today and just make today the best you can. It's no use dwelling on the last 6 months or 12 months. We can't change that, but we can change today, and we can wake up tomorrow and make tomorrow the best day we can. Yeah. So I feel like don't look too far ahead, don't look too far back, and just be present and focus on and make today count, because life can change really quickly. Yeah,
absolutely, mate. That's great advice. So you were just mentioning before your Mark Hughes Foundation, mate. How's that been going for you?
Yeah, it's been an enormous ride. The support we've got since we launched in about 2014 has been phenomenal. I think a lot of people will recognise the Beanie for Brain Cancer round in the NRL, which goes so well. Now we sell beanies at Lowe's in WA, so I'm appealing to everyone next year to get out to Lowe's, and you can get, or you can get on the Mark Hughes Foundation website. But we get some great support over there, so thank you, everyone. For that. But look, we've raised a lot of money. We've got a lot of research. We've got brain cancer care nurses. We've bought equipment. We've got big plans. So it's going well. We haven't found an answer, but we're working hard at it, and that's all we can do. Yeah,
cool. How would our NRL WA clubs get involved with the Beanies for Brain Cancer stuff?
Yes.
I know that they would, I'm not speaking for them, but I'm pretty sure they would like to do the same sort of thing you guys do in the NRL with the Beanies for Brain Cancer. It seems that I've talked to a few people, and they haven't been as accessible over here, the Beanies for Brain Cancer, to support it. And I know the WA people, they see it on the TV and they want to support, but it's not as over here. That's all.
Well, I'd appeal to someone from the league to make contact with the Mark Hughes Foundation and get in early, and then we can get the beanies over there and it can be ready to go, so that when they're on TV and everyone's wearing them, the local league players can be wearing them the same weekend, and it'd be a really great thing. So yeah, we'd love to get more support over there. Brain cancer's everywhere. It affects all communities, all people. So we'd love more support. So please make contact with the Mark Hughes Foundation, and we'll do everything we can to make sure they're very accessible over there.
Yeah, beautiful. No, we'll appreciate that. I'll pass that on to whoever I can. Have you got any advice for young kids coming up in sports, mate?
Yeah, I think there's a couple of things. First thing I would say is you need to believe in yourself, even if others don't. Believe you've got your goals and your dreams, and you've got to believe in them. And you've got to make the right choices. You know, as a young kid, I made good choices, but my friends, some of them didn't. And you know, there's lots of options and paths you can take as a teenager, but you've got to remain motivated. You've got to remain focused, because to succeed in anything you want to do in life, you've got to work, you've got to be consistent, you've got to work harder than everyone else. So I think if you do that in life, in whatever you're doing, whether it's your profession, sport, your family, if you do that, you're going to be successful.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. Perfect advice. What do you think a possibility for 80th team here in Perth once this expansion it goes ahead, I guess? What do you reckon the possibility of the Perth team is?
Well, to be honest, I wish that the rugby league held on to the Reds back in the day. Yep. I felt like the Western Reds could have been a real force if given more opportunity. I think the crowds would have been great. So, yeah, I think there's a real genuine opportunity for Western Australia to have a team. So I would say remain patient, lobby, make noise, and you know, there's another Queensland team in. I reckon they'll be looking for another team. So why not WA? Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, well, that's what we're hoping for. You know, that's some of the reason why I've started this page as well. You know, Perth does deserve a team, and they did get, I guess, shafted with the rest of the Reds getting cut out. But yeah, that's the hope for this WA. They love their rugby league over here. I mean, you would have seen a couple of years ago with the State of Origin when I was over here, how many people turned out to it.
Yeah,
so
I was at. It was great.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
it is. So obviously, you know, you're doing other stuff after footy now, mate. What else have you been up to?
Yeah, interestingly enough, I'm part of a new gym franchise, which is called Air Locker. Now, it's a bit like F45 group training, but the air's different. So we're breathing 21% oxygen in the air at the moment. In our gym, you'll breathe 14% oxygen. So your body works harder and you burn more calories, and there's all these other scientific benefits to this. So imagine doing a bit less training but getting more benefit, which I think is a way of doing it. I've had a lot of former teammates. We've had Kalen Ponga in training with us lately. He's training hard. It really gets you, you know. It's a really great way to train, and we're loving it. Our members love it. We have sites in Sydney. We have them in Newcastle and in Maitland, which is just near Newcastle. And the exciting news is we are talking to people in WA and right across Australia. So if anyone you know or you're interested in, you know, making a bit of luck for yourself and starting a gym that's different to everyone else's, make contact with Air Locker, and we'd love to hear from you.
Yeah, cool. Is there any specific website or anything they need to go onto to get in contact with them?
The Air Locker website will be the best way to go, and you'll follow that, and you'll make contact with us, and I'd love to chat to you more about it. And who knows, we could have a few in WA. Good excuse to meet.
Yeah, absolutely, mate. That's all I've got for you, mate. I know you're short on time, so I really do appreciate you coming on and having a quick chat with me, mate, especially about your foundation and your Air Locker franchise that you're doing. Thanks for everything, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Jamie, my pleasure, mate. Congratulations to you for having a go and trying to to build rugby league over there, because it's important that rugby league grows, and I think WA is a great place for that. So keep up the good work, mate.
Thank you, mate. I much appreciated.
No worries.
Thanks, buddy.
Thanks, mate.
See ya.